some League of Legends. We've got Orbital here in the building. We've got a random menu caster as well. Happy to provide you the rest of the group stage, kicking us off today, and then later on we'll get into the nitty-gritty, figure out who's coming away with the bulk of that cashy money. Everyone loves that cashy money, right? Don't forget though, folks, we also have Overwatch. We got a lot of constituents. I've already seen folks playing out there on the main floor. A lot of Overwatch, a lot of hype yesterday there, especially KU brought their squad. Really a lot of energy coming out from them. Excited to see how Overwatch kicks off for us today, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're still open all day, 10 to 10, roughly there. So we're going to start. We've been here for like an hour, guys, so don't worry about it. Come on in. We want to play some games. There's some cool prizes, cosplay contest as well on the main floor, on the third floor, I believe, or first floor. I don't know exactly which one because I'm not there right now. But I do know we do have cosplayers in the building. We got prizes to win. If you're here in Kansas City, head on down, check us out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, guys, here on the stream, we will be kicking it off with League of Legends, the group stage, and we will be having live interviews throughout the day provided by yours truly. So don't go anywhere. Orbital and Random Mini Caster are coming up right after this quick break.
And welcome, everyone. Thank you so much to JT for that fantastic intro. We are here and we are excited to bring you some more League of Legends actions here at the Unified Esports Association First LAN of 2021. It has been an awesome time and so far. So day two, let's go ahead, pack it in. Let's get some action rolling. Again, we got the continuation of the group stages. It is going to be first up, Return of the Middle Six versus Grid Esports. Yesterday, we did see a lot of great contention coming out of both these squads, and I'm excited to see if they can push through. I myself am Orbital. You know who I am. You also know Random Minion Caster. So RMC, how you doing today?
Doing good. It's a new day, Orbital, and I cannot wait to get into the games. We had some really exciting ones yesterday. Tiger Cubs rather dominating the division for the most part, but everybody else, some real scrappy games here. And between Return of the Middle Sticks and Grid Esports specifically here, I'm looking for some spicy picks. Return of the Middle Sticks. We saw lane swaps coming through. Firelight and X-Rays switching lanes. They don't care. Zadok's just going on killing sprees, stealing everything in sight. And for Grid Esports as well, I mean, constant support has been a constant carry for his team in that AD carry position. So really looking forward to these two teams clashing here.
Yeah, and we saw Grid Esports really go for the gamble, right? I think it was in the last game of the day, and it went pretty crazy with that Draven support. And something that we did want to kind of highlight is that I think is an awesome pick. Quite personally,
Mhm.
I think it's great. ADCs should be taking those risks. A lot of people do believe that that role is a little bit weaker, so maybe, or not weaker, I should say a little bit harder to snowball on, so maybe give it a little bit easier time and support. However, really kicking these off here. I want to see that awesome. Nope, never mind. All right, so everything I said out the window once again. So I threw it out the right side first, last. Now I got a left side window, maybe one all the way behind me. I don't know. 3 bans so far for Return of the Middle Six. Coming in here, Azera on blue side, Nautilus, Draven, and Zinzao. For Grid Esports, of course, they don't want to deal with the causes of Lee Sin and Thresh, which are all very valid bans.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot, but Viego making it through Orbital, and yesterday Viego had almost 100% presence throughout all the games here. Wouldn't be surprised to see it picked up again. And Karma being first pick, that is not something we saw a lot of yesterday, despite the fact that it wasn't really targeted here. And we kept harping on, Karma Lulu double shield composition. It's a possibility yesterday. It's still a possibility today, as Lulu is still up in pin.
Well, you know what they like to do. They like to pick up the Karma. Karma is locked in, and then the Rumble coming out once again. I think Grid Esports did take that into that mid lane previously, and that was Catamatics showing up once and then faltering a little bit in the other, but very staple pick, and we've seen what the work. And then another huge carry potential, the Vayne coming out for constant support.
Okay, and when we last saw the Vayne, it was paired with the Lulu. The whole idea is you run somebody down with it. You picked a Rumble with this Vayne, and Return of the Middle Sticks, if they deny the Lulu away from this Vayne pick here, that Vayne's just kind of going to be left scrambling to try and survive. You don't have a lot of backup. I mean, there's sure Seraphine support if we're looking at Enchanters, not great. Hey, maybe we see the Taric come through, Cosmic Radiance with Vayne. That's a combo that can definitely carry games.
Oh my lord, imagine if we did see that, but instead we do get the lockdown. That is going to be the Blighted Archer himself, Varus, going to be locked in. And of course, it is interesting to see if we do see the lethality come out versus that on hit. In this situation, it does feel like he's going to be moving onto that poke Varus, that lethality that we know and love. You're not really going to win an extended duel with a Vayne, and of course it was left open and made it through 4, which is 4 times as many as previous games. Yeah, not first picked, not the first rotation, but it will be the third, and of course the Alistar, which I do appreciate to keep that Viego away.
Yeah, I know yesterday we were talking about high stakes games, that cash money. Now you got a cash money cow coming through right here, and different sort of stake coming through as well. It's an old school combo, right? Vayne, Alistar, you've got the knock up into the wall, into the pin coming through from the Vayne here. I just don't know if it works against a Varus Karma bot lane. The poke is going to be really strong. They're just going to be constantly out of range here, and Alistar shouldn't be able to get into the lane. If you're picking it for the team, it's some sort of AoE CC for the Rumble, but it's not necessarily as strong as the Leona or the Nautilus that we tend to see paired with that. Bans coming through from both teams for the second round, and we're seeing a lot of Assassins taken off the table. Kassadin, actually, we've not seen that champion at all in bans or picks, is taken off the table. LeBlanc, that's a power pick right now, and Silas once again taken off the table.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that Kassadin might be saying, hey, we do plan to play maybe a scalar mid, someone that has a lot of AP. Really great setup. I mean, I've even seen it done specifically if you're taking the Cassiopeia or even like a Xerasin or anything like that, just cast it. If you don't want to play against it, it is an annoying champion, really ruins your mid to late game. So just don't want to allow that. And that's a great reason why you have now locked in double AP. That is the Diana for the jungle, comboed with that Rumble. Huge wombo combo potential.
Yeah, love it. It also sets up so nicely for that Alistar. We talked about the fact that the hit but pulverize is a little bit more difficult to land on multiple members. Well, if you moonfall everybody in, that's a free follow up there. Everybody's just going to keep getting knocked up, sitting in the middle of that equalizer as well. And Vayne no longer needs heal at this point because everybody's too distracted in the bouncy house to notice the Vayne tumbling around. Return of the middle sticks, though, they've got themselves really good poke, but very, very squishy at this point. And I need to see some frontline coming through. Cassiopeia is a solid pickup in terms of trying to stop engage, but again, still very squishy. The Renekton, there we go. That's the front line. That's the beef you need to soak up the engage there. And it's going to be a lot about trying to make sure that Diana doesn't manage to find its way into the backline. The Renekton going to need to stall that out. Petrifying Gate is going to be absolutely massive as well. If you miss that ultimate, Varus, Cassiopeia, Viego, all of them very vulnerable to this wombo.
Hey, we had Draven yesterday. Now the brothers come out to play. Darius is locked in last pick. It is considered a strong pick on its own. But when you throw it in as a counter pick, you say, hey, the Renekton is gonna get executed. It will feel the full weight of the Noxian Blade. Darius definitely comes to mind.
I love it. And I love the fact as well, Darius is a lane bully, and he's strong enough that post 6, trying to gank that lane with a squishier jungler becomes kind of dicey. Viego wants to get in there, but if you get hooked in, there's a very real chance we see that dunk go through twice. Viego down first, followed by the Renekton. You know, Viego's Heartbreaker is an execute, but the OG execute was Darius.
Oh, yes, it was. And now locked into this composition, I honestly do feel like it can be very, very scary. Yes, you do have the Cassiopeia to kind of keep everyone away. You do have the Karma to speed you up. But you look at the composition itself, fairly immobile. If they're getting chased down, it's very little to keep that Darius away. And when you take a look at it, that Darius could be the whole linchpin, right? If it's running that Flash Ghost that we know, love, and hate, you're not getting away.
Yeah, and that's where this Karma Cassiopeia for Return of the Middle Six comes through. We look at sort of the way the comps work. Return of the Middle Six is all about controlling that range, controlling that zone. They've got really good poke with the Karma, with the Varus here, and you've got good zone control with the Karma, with the Cassiopeia again. Generally, Karma controls the zone by speeding up the team, as well as applying the slows coming in. And then, you, of course, Cassiopeia just provides zones of poison, of petrifying gaze coming through as well. So they'll need to be careful about getting engaged upon. And Grid Esports have the opposite problem. It's not about the zone control here. They just want to go in and they want to get the engage on. If ever Darius or Diana in the middle of your team, you know you done goof and you are not getting away as you sit there. Ghost Flash to help you in. So really a battle of ranges of being able to find their way in. And it's going to be a lot on Grid Esports trying to pull the trigger here and find their way in.
Yeah, going to be a really interesting time. And of course, finally, we do have to take a look at that Vayne. Normally, when you see a Vayne, you want to see a little bit more CC, maybe locked in. And with such a heavy dive comp, this Vayne is going to be left on her own. It feels like. Do you think this is the right pick? Do you think this Vayne will pan out? Or do you think the rest of the team is what's going to have to carry that Vayne kind of across the finish line?
Well, when we saw Vayne yesterday, she was sort of the focus of the composition. Everything was all about getting that Vayne ahead, getting her snowballing, and then you run the Jugger Vayne. Today, Vayne's on janitor duty. She failed yesterday. She's just here to clean up the fights. It's all about the initial burst you put out. It's all about Darius going in, turning on the blender, just cutting everybody up, and then Vayne just gets to kite around and kill targets. If Return of the Middle Sticks has the luxury of being able to focus the Vayne, Grid Esports already done goofed at that point, and Cage probably went south. They couldn't find their way in. And I'm sorry for constant support on the Vayne. Like, you're just sort of an afterthought. If they're killing you, it's because there's no other threat and you're dead. You don't have that peel, you don't have that protection. And the team's not going to be bothering about you for the most part. They're trying to get their own damage, their own chaos in there.
All right, so you said clean up, right? You said all this. I want to pitch an idea to you out of the window that I've thrown all the ideas out of. I'm going to draw one back in. If we saw a hybrid tank Vayne come out as a color caster, would you flame me, or would you say it's appropriate for this current situation?
It depends. Well, Orbital, are you the one playing the hybrid tank main?
Listen, we don't bring in my skill to this. We don't bring in my skill to this, okay?
I mean, if we do see a hybrid tank vein, I would be a little bit concerned here. It could work again because you are just playing cleanup for the most part. As long as you've got enough attack speed to be able to finish off the survivors, good enough. And if the only person diving you is Renekton, okay, I can see that. Right now, though, looking at what we do see, I'm not a huge fan of the idea of it. I think you just need damage, overwhelming amounts of damage here to be able to clean up. And so if your vein does get tagged, if your tankiness does come through at that point, like I said, you're kind of in trouble anyways. You're probably going to die. So I'd like to see, full damage vein initially, unless like Return of the Middle Six is 100% focusing that vein.
See, this is why I'm a caster and not a player, and also why I'm a play-by-play. My brain just runs at a mile a minute, and we just see what happens with that. So we will go ahead and see how the players play it out. Maybe that tank vein comes out, or they laugh in my face, and the vein is the carry. So much potential here for carry, so many pop-off opportunities, and we'll have to see what they can do, because again, both these teams are 1-1 of the teams that are currently here. This will determine if they play for the finals at the end of the day, or if they're only playing for third place. Remember, there's a big difference between first and third, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the actual in-game play between Return of the Middle Six and Grid Esports. And we are back with some lovely snail action, the one that we have not seen so far. It is beautiful, it is glorious, and just the wonders of the rift that we have not seen in just a few short hours. That's 2 snails, actually. Make it possibly 3, not just a butterfly. Oh, wait, no, there are people. Okay, back into the actual game. We are here. Return of the Middle Six is coming out here on the blue side. You know who the players are, so we cannot introduce them just yet because we have a very early invade. A couple people deciding that they want to push in a bit. Question marks all around, and that's going to be a empowered mantra to open things up. X-Craze going to be giving a little bit of a greeting.
Okay, interesting choice from Return of the Middle Six to invade here. They do have superior poke with the Varus Karma, but you're also risking a lot trying to invade an Alistar there. You walk into the wrong bush, that's a 2, 3, 4, 5-man knockup potentially coming through, and with the early damage from a Darius as well, ooh, that's a bit of a yikes from me. They do manage to get in, drop a ward, and get back out here, so they ventured and they didn't lose anything. A little bit of a win, we'll call it, for Return of the Middle Six, establishing dominance.
Dominance on the other side whenever they lose out in HP. That's the best. But of course, we have the best dance animation ever.
Hey.
Reference. Hey, RMC, do you know what that reference is? Go.
Michael Jackson?
Oh, I think that's right. Okay, I'll let
look
chat
at this.
crucify you. It's okay. I'll let chat do that. I'll let them do their thing. That is still one of my favorite things to date in terms of League of Legends. How almost all the dances are popular videos. What is your favorite dance? Come on, you have to have one of a champion.
Bro, you're putting me on the spot here. I don't know the dances. I don't know the skins.
What? No.
Wait, who does the Macarena? One of them does.
Who does that? I don't think we have a Gangnam Style. I know that much. That is Twisted Fate. Oh my gosh. I have. Oh, I know. One of the crazier ones as we get to level 2 from the Renekton. Just a simple greeting. There is. Oh, I'm going to blow your mind. There's one called Leak Girl, which is Jinx's dance. And if you go look up Levin Polka, it is amazing as we do see First Blood come through. The Varus deciding to end my rant about dances with a death in the bottom lane. That is going to be constant support watching Cubsy die.
I mean, is there a death dance? Cubsy's dance on the floor there, pretty lively. I mean, the worm not quite working out there. You do need to like kind of flop a little bit, but Cubsy will be able to get back into lane. And we talked a bit about the fact that Varus Karma has a lot of poke. We talked about it on the invade, but in lane as well. This is why I was not a fan of Vayne Alistar here. You need to basically constantly fight East Phantom.
Oh, East Phantom's not having a good time. Kaplu ends it with the flash. And the monster that we thought is not going to be the Darius, but instead is the Renekton, and Zadox is running Charles out of the rift. So that is going to be out of his own jungle. TP coming in, and that's going to be Catamatics trying to come in. This is 2-on-3. Can they make it happen again? 2-on-1 though. For about 10 seconds, and that's enough. That's it. East Phantom is out, and he got the draw with the soul stealing. That is going to be 2. Can they make it 3? The Spitfire roast is real, but a Q lands. One tower shot is hit, and it doesn't look like ROTM can finish, but my gosh, was that a glorious turnaround. Oh, X-Craze. X-Craze, you can't do it, so. No. Is the recall going to go off? Oh, no, he stopped it. Flush under tower, a little bit of another Spitfire. Is he going to get the heal? Oh, no, he done it. Tower. Oh, no. No, you shielded yourself. X-Craze, you can't shield yourself. Oh, that's a bad support, guys.
No, man. X-Craze was trying to shield Kuplu, but Kuplu was already dead, shield or not there. But you know what? That's still a 3-for-1 in the top lane there. Return of the Middle Six, great roam up. And there are just huge questions for East Phantom. We talked about the fact that Darius usually runs Flash Ghost. He ran Ghost Teleport. Teleport's back in, and the backup wasn't there. Now, Charles trying to turn the tides, looking for this bot lane dive. It's doable.
Yeah, it has to go quick though, as that's gonna be a teleport coming in. Exhaust goes down, and they're gonna try and power through, but the ADC is a little bit late to the hit. Final shot does land, so the 3-stack is real.
Oh, no.
Now Constant has to flash away, but the rest of the team is here. The Vayne already burned flash and heal, so that is a very dead ADC. Diana is gonna get out just fine, and Kaplu finishes it off. Make it 4, and so appropriately, the Stag, the ruler of the Rift, gazing down on one of the champions here.
Oh, that was just brutal. Watch Orbital from top to bot, and there's just no answer from Grid. East Phantom pushing in that wave in the top side, but that's all you're really gonna get. Kuplu's okay with that. He's still even in terms of CS, and he got 5 kills. This Crocodile in the top lane, this is the sort of Gator that you hear rumors about, in the sewer, the ones that are gonna come up and eat you. These aren't the, the cute, cuddly ones. This is not your sad Croc montage here today.
No, this is full Florida, everyone. This is full on Florida coming out here. The Croc has been unleashed, and you can see it, right? Already 1,700 up. He is going nuts right now. And the CS is even, that's the least of East Phantom's worries. And it's starting to translate into other areas ever so slowly, right? Jungler, especially Zadox, has had a fantastic time picking up on some of those kills. He now has a 400 gold lead, or about 300 or so. And it should be extending later on, as we do get a little bit of supportal combat here. Follow up with an empowered Q, but the piercing arrow with the full blight stacks destroys the health bars of Vayne. Now that's going to be a shield coming out as Cubsy just
Automatic
can't
to 6.
finish off. This is going to be a rundown. Oh, that's a huge equalizer though, just in time. So the Rumble is here to tumble on the Vayne. Well, not the Vayne, the ADC of the blue team. ROTM lose 2, but claim 2 in the process. Now we get an extended fight in the jungle as Viego takes out Charles Zadox. Gonna happily steal the soul of Diana.
Oh, there's one good lane for Grid right now, and that is the mid lane. Catamatics, no equalizer available though. And right now, you can't play through the top lane. You picked a Darius who's supposed to win the lane, and he didn't. We have to keep in mind, this was a counter pick Darius as well here. It really didn't pan out. And when a Darius falls behind, it's one of the most painful things to watch. Your bot lane, Vayne Alistair, you don't have that kill threat. You're down experience, you're down items as well. Grid have to play through the mid lane. I'm waiting for that Moonfall. We talked about the Moonfall equalizer combo. That holds true in lane as well here. They're turning onto X-Craze.
They're gonna give it a shot.
Okay.
And Constant picks up his second, and to get them against the wall, might be able to get a proc off. Yep, is able to get one cycle of the auto attacks. Can't find another though, but plenty of damage has been done.
Okay, prove me wrong there. Apparently the Vayne Alistair combo is still in the game, and if they are, that's not bad for Grid, because now they can look at Dragon. They've got the stronger mid, at least in the team fights right now. Your bot lane can still kind of hold its own. Charles not quite 6 yet, so not fully online, but once that is, second Drake is also contestable.
Oh my lord, the Renekton doing so much work, and that is something East Phantom has been unable to do for a while. Kaplu has played it almost perfectly, is not allowing more than about 3 stacks of the bleed to come out from East Phantom, and that is, I think, so crucial when trying to duel out against a Darius.
Grid started up the Dragon, and Return of the Middle Six is just going to say thank you for that. Free Drake for us. It's going to be an Ocean Drake next year, and top side, East Phantom. Oh no, look, just look at the item discrepancy there, right? Kuplu already has, the mallet as well as the Iron Spike Whip, and then East Phantom's sitting on a Ruby Crystal and a Longsword. Those are not equivalent, and if Kuplu gets to just dive you at will, that top lane, like, you kind of need to camp it to make sure it doesn't fall apart. Bot side.
Well, they're gonna try and at least turn it around for one. That's a double right there. That's gonna be 2, as we do get a little bit of replay. Equalizer was down, so while the top lane was going on, looks like just a 4-man squad decided to make the roam happen.
Yeah, and X-Craze should have just left his buddy there for Dead. Sopachi was kind of donezo at that point, and you turn around, you just get engaged on, you die as well. They do at least find Cubsy on the back end of it, but still, 2 for 1 with your AD carry dead, definitely not worth.
Not at all, and a nice little return here. Grid trying to keep pace, and honestly, that Darius, we've seen Darius's really pop off, and then this is another way to do it. Make sure the rest of your squad is up, but again, Petrifying Game with both stunned up. Firelight gonna light him up in the miasma. He might not be able to follow up a little bit more.
Oh my goodness.
Take down. Clean it up from behind the wall, breaking some hearts of Rumble. And this is going to be East Phantom trying to chase away, gets tagged by the Noxus Poison. That's only going to be a tag. So Firelight online now. The Rumble that was doing so well isn't going to make it. But again, this is going to be potentially a kill. Oh, Condemned not against the wall, but
Heartbreaker.
And that is going to be the shutdown. No, Heartbreaker was used all the way at mid. The reset timer is already off.
He's about to getting played out by a support now.
Oh yeah, this is return to the middle six, returning to form here. They don't care. They want to go for the kills, and they want to accelerate the game to a massive pace. Moonfall airballing there on the Varus.
Flash heal used by Sapachi to get out, so not a complete waste coming through from Charles there, but we do need to start seeing that Moonfall being used in bigger fights. Getting a single kill is no longer good enough when you're behind, when you're starting to struggle a little bit. And more worryingly here for Grid is the fact that they're getting dope in almost every lane except for bot lane right now. Zadox just runs between turrets. If you're not at a turret, Firelight can punish you. Kuplu as well on the top side, just diving away here. Before this, I was just thinking Firefight was 0-0-0. When's this Cassiopeia going to get involved? And now that we're starting to see the Cassiopeia get into fights, it's not a good thing for Grid. Katamatics only kind of won the mid lane, and he got it from pressure, not from actual CS or by keeping Firelight down.
Options available for RTM, but Grid, we've seen some glimmers of hope here. Remember, no matter what, these teams will play for a prize, and just depends on how large of a prize you want. Grid starting to take a look at the top side once again, and I feel that might not be the answer. It might just be better to cut your losses.
Yeah, and look at East Phantom's inventory there. He's full build, kind of full of scraps, and he's facing up against a Gore Drinker as well. This is desperation survival mode. Zadox looking up here. Charles will spot him out.
Yeah, and the sweeper, so well used, is going to find the enemy jungler, and you know, both junglers are playing to certain advantages, right? For Grid, there is some notion of trying to play on the weak side and try and help out that losing lane. But when the enemy jungler is reading that, like Zadox is, it's just nigh impossible. They're going to do the full dive. That's going to be the pull in, but can they do much more? No, he cannot. East Phantom turns into a Phantom and is now going to have his tower broken here at about 12 minutes.
Please no bully Darius. He's 0-5-0. This is just so painful to watch, and Charles kind of abandoned him as well. At this point, you just let the top lane turret fall. Don't put East Phantom up there any longer here. You need to be constantly ganking if you're going to put him in a bad lane. Or just have him rotate. He's not going to miss that much more CS here. He's already struggling.
All right, well, that's the final hour pops one more time. A nice little scum goes out, and the last bolt is going to pierce through. The Varius is next, and that's two. Alrighty then, mid lane, yeah, that fell, but it doesn't freaking matter. Again, the Vayne is online, flash in, flash out by Firelight, but a nice tag, no reset jump though. Charles trying to stay in range, but it's not going to happen, so almost a turnaround in that mid lane, but most crucially, 5 total, I think, for the Vayne right now. She is starting to come online.
And Grid, despite the fact that they're down 5,000 gold, despite the fact that East Phantom is in a hole so deep right now that he doesn't get to play the game, they have their strengths elsewhere on the map. The fact that constant support and Cubsy are starting to come back into 2v2 is absolutely massive. And I want to see them rotated out to an actual team fight. You have that Moonfall Equalizer combo, and yes, I sound like a broken recorder, but it is a strong point. And again, we talked about the fact that once that Chaos goes down, will they have time to deal with the Vayne? And if not, constant support gets the free fire with that Kraken Slayer. There's really no one on Return of the Middle Six side which will be able to survive that.
Dragon going the way of Return of the Middle Six, and for the first time, we have the Calm Ocean on day 1, and this is where things heat up. We got the Infernal Soul for game number 1 of the day. A lot spicier, a lot less terrain to utilize, and a lot crazier fights around that dragon at this point. We should probably see a fight break out at every single dragon attempted.
Yeah, I think after this, Grid will want to start trying to contest. They had to give up the early ones because they were so far behind. We are seeing lane swaps. I'm glad they got East Phantom out of that top lane. But now this is a different skill check. That Renekton is very far ahead. It's about a level and a half up from East Phantom here. Same level as the Vayne, actually. Constant support has been somehow finding extra experience through kills, I suppose. But Renekton can dive that Vayne here. And with that Zadox in a 2v2 situation, if constant support can survive, doesn't even have to get the kill, just has to survive, then Grid actually have found themselves some pretty decent lane assignments and can continue to scale up a little bit in these particular lane setups.
So my question to you at this point, right? Because we know some form of Dispel is coming out for the Vayne, 100%, right? This is a composition that you needed. The question is, would you rather see on the Vayne a QSS, the sash to be able to be used by the Vayne herself, or would you rather see the Mikhail's Crucible come out for Cub Z in terms of that item situation?
Why not both?
Yeah, why not both? Because that'll happen. Over the wall they go. I want to talk a little bit about theorizing. I'm not allowed to, as we do see the kill. That's going to be out they go. Heartbreaker uses safety, a little bit of a tag, but you can't follow up. You don't have too much damage. So, of course, that will be left to not. The poor Vayne is dead in the middle of the battlefield.
They actually did catch vision of Firelight moving up. There is a ward in the bush, so I think that's more on constant support in Cubsy, not really respecting the engage coming through there. They do have to be careful, and you know what? I actually do think they should both be picking up some sort of cleanse coming through. There's more than enough CC chain of corruption, tether from Karma, petrifying gaze. Charles
I think
doesn't
he
get the
stole it.
wolves.
Yeah,
Zadox
Charles didn't get that.
That's rough to see. Zadox, you know, Zadox actually isn't that far ahead in CS. It's mostly just the ganks that have been coming through for this Viego here for the most part. That 1,200 just coming off the additional, 3 kills he's got. Kuplu getting chased out a little bit again. And Charles, the Moonfall has not set up the Equalizer. The Equalizer we just saw come out again without the Moonfall here. And I'm just waiting for that combo. I really firmly believe that 7k down, they can still turn the tides if they land that combo even once, bro. I just want to see it once to see how much damage can actually put up.
Oh yeah, and again, they seem to be set up in the mid lane after the Vayne died, but again, you don't want to take that fight. You know that you're not as well prepared as the rest. The Vayne is the one that has a majority of the kills along with the Rumble, right? So you do want that power spike. I fully do understand. I still want to see them pull the trigger maybe at this next dragon, right? Minute 45 on that. Your outer towers are going to be down at this point. Top lane, X-Craze gets killed outright with Kaplu in tow. So X-Craze is now 3, 4, and 6. And this Darius, I think rightfully so, is getting punished over and over again. Because again, as soon as he gets 2 kills, it's terrifying.
The other problem here, Orbital, is the lack of teleports here from the mid laners. So Catamatic showing bot instantly means that Return of the Middle Six knows the big wombo isn't available. They can probably play very aggressively and punish this Darius here. At worst, you just have to Moonfall. And they're really the thing that Return of the Middle Six is scared of in these team fights is that Equalizer. Vayne's scary, yeah, but we already talked about the fact that she's punishable. She's killable here. Firelight also no TP. So when you see Firelight here, you know it's gankable. Grid's looking for it. Can they find it?
It's going to be a flash up for Charles if he wants to try and use it. Equalizer goes down, slows it down, and yeah, only has enough mana, though, to throw down the Petrifying Gaze. I think this is going to be a kill. Flashes out, but the Renekton is there. Gets a great stun out. Now it's a trade potentially. This is Kaplu. 8, 1, and 3. Going to be melting through the opponents, and they turn it around. Return of the Middle Six on the back of the lifeguard, saving lives even out of the pool. He brings it home.
Oh, Grid, they chased so far and tried so hard, but in the end, it didn't even matter because they blew all their ultimates early on Firelight and didn't get the kill. And once Kuplu showed up, if you had your ults, maybe you turned that, but you didn't. And that becomes a 3-4-0 Return of the Middle Six. Gets all the prio on the map. Dragons coming up in 5 seconds, and we said Grid wanted to contest that. Well, you come.
It's not even going to be close, right? Everyone on the side of Grid very far away, and at this point, Kaplu and X-Craze can quite literally take on 5 members as long as the shields are up, as long as the dominance is up. I don't think Renekton dies in just about any situation, right? Maybe if they get the Alistar stun down, but that is just how far ahead and how well Kaplu has played with the rest of his team to build his own lead. Fantastic work by Return of the Middle Six.
Charles is trying once again for Firelight here, and this time you don't even have the Moonfall. Firelight has Petrifying Gaze.
Oh my gosh. That is
3 poison packs. That's all it took.
A single tap, and then I think in the mid lane we just saw a fight expire as well. We are getting kills galore.
I'm gonna backspace that one.
And that feels bit bad. So let's go ahead and take a look. That's going to be the tether. The cook is there. The flash in. So Catamatics is able to get the shutdown off the Karma, but then losing his life again to the Renekton.
I don't know where to start with this one, Orbital. The fact that Catamatics is throwing his life away to kill a Karma, that's so weird. It's a mid for support, but the fact that there was a bounty and made it worth is even weirder. Constant support trying to just kite around, doing a really good job dodging everything out so far here. And again, still no QSS, still no Mikhail. So the moment constant support gets hit by one CC, that Vayne's probably dead.
This is almost a game where I wouldn't have discredited a cleanse game from constant, right? This is one that I would actually say is okay to run it and then just kind of sack the lane, farm it up until your jungler comes, and then utilize that cleanse to take the fights against a Viego or a Cassiopeia or a Renekton, and at least try and win in that, because we can see very, very clearly Constant can play a very mean Vayne.
Yeah, and props to Constant, even despite not having that cleanse, has been positioning very, very, very well for the most part in these fights and hasn't really gone down. I want to see Constant just in an actual team fight here. With Charles and with Catamatics. As we're watching Baron spawn, we're already seeing fights break up top.
Yeah, that's trade of one and make it a few more, as ROTM quite literally do not care. The tower is merely a small section. That is going to be the barrier and shield. I believe coming out. That's going to be attack. Charles is going to try and make it happen. Double dash in. It might be able to get a move. Pick it up. Yes, you trade your life, but you do get the shutdown. However, Blues is still very much at large. He is disgustingly huge with that dominance and double bust in pocket. 13 levels in him, 13 kills even. He is getting so many, and it is making it work. Top lane tower goes down. That is going to be 2 of 3.
Okay, that's not a crocodile. That's a flat-out dinosaur at this point. 13. He's probably sitting on a ton of gold as well. And they're gonna keep on fighting. Unbreakable Will's already down, Cubsy. Why?
Oh, even through Unbreakable, not Unbreakable Will. Unbreakable Will was not up, but yeah, that's just a kill. Walked in, said hello, and finally the Croc gets, he's upset at something. I think he's upset at some of the squirrels that we saw earlier, but yeah, he finally gets the recall, finally gets to spend his gold. A lizard, actually, so apparently my eyes don't work. Yeah, he's upset at everything because he's doing a great job, right? He is having the time of his life here. Kaplu, he went back, picked up, I think, just a straight-up Guardian Angel.
Yeah, he did. Oh my goodness, that's...
I think he bought the components because he was sitting on 1,000 and then said, oh yeah, I can complete the item.
He had the BF sword in inventory already, so he was gearing towards it. And you know what? Like, you deserve it. If Grid thought it was going to be impossible to kill him before, it is now literally impossible with that GA here. And Orbital, I don't know if you know this, but Shark Week starts tomorrow. Croc Day apparently started today.
And the Croc is winning right now. This is going to be the Baron timing down again. You can't see it. You can see him on it. Equalizer goes down. Nope. Oh, the Varus took it. That's actually very close. Chain of Corruption. I think that's like the second or third one we've seen as we're spectating here, but it does whiff. They're getting chased down again. The Karma so fast. There goes the Veil coming out, zoning all the way around, and they get the Unbreakable Will out of Alistar, but he still gets stunned up. He's going to headbutt the Viego backwards, and the rotate around. Can they follow through? No, that's going to be the Condemn against the wall, and Viego not allowed to follow up. Zadox will not add more names to his little book. That's going to be the Diana, though. Rotating out. Sneaking very quietly. All right, safe. Made it back past the base walls. Safe.
Are they really safe, though? You still got that dinosaur lurking outside your base. You've got Baroned up minions pushing in, and you have no wave clear. Look at that Diana queue. You need to throw, like, what, 6, 7 of those to clear it? And literally, Vayne can't even step up. If Vayne steps up, they CC her. She's dead. They actually cannot wave clear against this Baroned up team.
Not at all. The clearance is not there, and with Dragon coming up in 10 seconds, why in the world would you chance it, right? Give nothing over. Do not try and give a little leeway to any team in battle. Just go for what you know, and this is one of them. Stun Wisp and a flash out that does allow Charles to escape, but they gotta walk back in, right? You don't really have a choice. You're trying to check these corners. It's gonna be a dash out. ROTM again. Dragon is on the table. It's very scary, but no vision for Grid. They're walking into a minefield. That's the flash in. Chain across and lands to Diana. Diana's gone. Petrifying Gaze is actually dodged out, but the damage is just too real. Now the Twin Fangs coming out, soaking up the damage and soaking up the HP. That is the final death. Darius is going to be taken out. Triple kill. Second one of the game for Kaflu. He is going to end that fight 17-1-4. The Croc is the word as the base of Grid Esports will be broken.
That Croc is ascended. It's not a dinosaur anymore. That's a flat-out mythical dragon at this point here. He just will not be stopped. He does damage. They didn't even get the dragon at the end of the day. They're just pushing in to try and end this here, Orbital. And there's really nothing you can do. Charles now respawned. The team's actually coming back up, but no, also it's a Moonfall.
Yeah, Moonfall lands, but again, it's just for show. Gives them a little bit of open space, a little bit closer proximity. Two kills to Diana. They're splicing and turning the cow into beef. Another two fangs go out, and this is what you see. The power of the Cassiopeia straight up shredding HP bars. A cool slow-mo as the fang takes that life. A petrifying gaze to end it off. A third triple kill for Kaflu. He hits it. He hits those 20 bombs. Put it up on the numbers. Return to the middle six. 2-1.
21-5 Orbital for Kuplu here in that top lane. I will criticize him for one thing. He built GA and it didn't even pop. He should have built straight damage. Would have been better, buddy. Like, he's just so far ahead at that point. Great play. And yesterday we had the stat that Red Side has won 100% of the games. Today, already game one, we get a blue side win here, Orbital. It's a new day. We get new stats, and I'm glad that this is the way we kicked it off.
Yeah, and we definitely saw some craziness. It is pretty much, I want to say, a hardline fact that constant support is a menace. If given the opportunity, he will run the lane. It was overshined. It was overshadowed by the fact that, of course, Renekton was huge. But you have to keep eyes. 5-6 kills in. We know how Vaynes play. If you let it get away from you, it is trouble. So that is going to be it for us here for this first game. Remember, there is more League of Legends actions here. Shortly, we are going to get the team set up here at the LIN event. At least I am. Remote caster RMC flying in all the way from Canada has been fantastic here on the broadcast. You'll see a little bit more of him here in just a little bit. So please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with the last game of the group stage here for the UEA LIN event.
Who the fuck you go to the show with last night?
I didn't go to the show last night.
You ain't got to lie. 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 You ain't got to
And welcome back. Of course, we are here. We are ready for the final game of the group stage. It will be between Park Esports and Tiger Cubs. These two, unfortunately, are on opposite ends of the bracket side. Currently, Tiger Cubs, I believe, sitting at 2-0, and Park Esports at 0-2. This will not affect who plays and what. However, it is a great way to gain experience and get ready for your upcoming larger series, as this is the last best of one. We will now be seeing those best of threes and potentially best of fives come out. It's going to be a fantastic time. And I mean, RMC, there's no better way to test your metal than to throw it up against the reigning champion, or the champions that is currently sitting at the top of the bracket, and try and take them down.
I don't think Tiger Cubs have dropped a single game. And the nice part for Park is that when you've got nothing left to lose, this is when you start doing everything and anything you want to see. Like if you ever want to play Timo, on stream, this is your chance. You really can't go wrong here. And I do want to see Park come in with that sort of attitude, right? Like they will be playing in the third, fourth place match here, and if you can find some kills off Tiger Cubs, maybe Tiger Cubs are going to play around, maybe you can find a win here. It's going to be huge for you. And for Tiger Cubs as well, you don't have to go super hard on this particular matchup. You can kind of change things around. I think they're the only team we haven't really seen pull up anything too crazy. They've been playing fairly standard, and it shows. I mean, they've won everything. Tai Chi's carried, Rivers carried, Moody's carried, Fire Theft carried. Hey, maybe that your support carry. Put Pazu on something like possibly on a Pike or something like that. Something that can really take off. Annie's support was a thing. She can carry games, right? Like that's a possibility, maybe.
I like how I'm pretty certain I saw the names Lux and Brand come across your brain, but somehow you were like, I can't fall to that. But yeah, so options are available, and I think that's great for Tiger Cubs as well, because experimentation is the entire point of this. You never, one of the worst things that you can't fall into is that single lane, a single minded track, right? You want to be able to expand, you want to be able to encompass all sorts of complications, any sort of situation that might arise. And in this game in particular, I feel like we will see something like that. Like you said, Park Esports, again, bottom of the standings doesn't mean that you can't experiment, that you can't keep practicing. Every game moves you closer and closer, and every game that you get to practice against these opponents means that you are refining yourself up to a point. So I'm excited because the best of three, that's where it really starts to get challenging. Completely different mindset. You have to think about the fact that you are playing the same opponent potentially 3 times in a row, and it really defines how you have watched your opponent, how you have kind of picked and worked your way through it. So we'll see how it goes. But of course, we do have Tiger Cubs this time on the blue side, Park Esports on that red, and the first 2 bans are out. Both hooks, 2 of 3 hooks, are now taken off the table.
Hey man, that Pike is a hook champion still on the table, but nothing
2 of
too
4
crazy
then.
yet.
2 of 4.
Nothing too crazy yet. Fairly standard bans coming out. You know, the Thresh, the Malphite. Xin Zhao taken off the table here. We saw the Viego still 100% presence. Could be a champion that we see denied here. I'm just thinking back to yesterday where we saw Goon play the Rammus jungle here. And I actually quite like that. I think that, you know, that's something that we could see again. I know it seemed a bit like a troll pick, but I actually thought it had a lot of potential and the ganks were pretty potent.
Yeah, I had one of the worst ideas I think I've ever heard in my head that I hate and pains me to say that it, in a situation like this, it might work just for cheese. I think someone had mentioned to me, one of my lovely caster friends is JT. He had mentioned Soraka Mundo bot lane, and I'd never wanted to cry about such a correct answer in terms of the craziness that we've seen. We have seen a Seraphine and Thresh bot lane, I think, or something close to that. And it semi worked. We saw it work, and I'm so like anything can come out. So I'm very excited to see what they got. But let's go ahead. We do see the Seraphine again. We now see Gwen, which we did see fall last time. Xerx tried to play that, and it did fall a little bit flat, but we saw the power of it. And now flipping around, we get one of the ultimate duelists coming out here. The Aurelia, the one that championed almost 1v1 styles here for the second pick of Tiger Cubs.
Yeah, and Orbital, how could we ignore Draven first pick again? We saw it yesterday. We see it today once again with Leona. Okay, you know what? Sure. Mundo Soraka, you know, that's exciting. I was down for that, but I am down for Draven Leo here, especially into potentially what might be a Seraphine bot lane. This is an out-and-out kill lane coming through for the Tiger Cubs here. And Irelia, Orbital, you're mentioning, she just got changed on this particular patch quite a bit here. It feels like they've given her, you know, a bit more weaker early game. Like they've kind of just balanced things out. From what I've seen of her so far, I'm not terribly impressed with it. It's been solid, but it doesn't feel like you're quite as strong on the dive here. You'll win the lane in your safe sort of zone there, not diving the turrets. That said, Sejuani coming through from Park Esports, and it was Xerx who played it in the top lane yesterday, so might not be a jungle pick coming up here.
A lot of options available, and of course we are into the second round of ban phases. We are seeing the targets come out, the Lee Sin taking away the Caitlyn on the other side, making sure the range advantage doesn't go through, and then of course the Fizz saying, hey, listen, the one thing that can really screw us over is a Fizz hopping to the backline, the Chum the Waters potentially coming out, making sure to cover the bases, and then finally another ADC pinching Park Esports saying, hey, we don't want you picking up a standard.
Yeah, Ashe, Caitlyn, I think those are things that counter the Draven here. So we saw it yesterday. I believe it was Grid who played the Draven yesterday. Correct me if I'm wrong. But same bans that came out, Caitlyn, Ashe coming through. And Park, I mean, they could just play the Seraphine AD carry. That was also something we saw yesterday. And it kind of works. Poppy being picked up here, it's a little interesting to me. I think it works well against the likes of that Irelia, that Draven as well. But at the same time, you need damage to start coming through from Park Esports here. And Poppy certainly doesn't do that. It's also disengaged when you've already got some really good AoE. CC might mess them up. Tiger Cubs here, they're picking up their magic damage to pair off with the Draven, with the Irelia, with the Azir here. And I think their last pick, you can look for something just AoE, CC heavy, tanky maybe to complement things. Oh, okay. I mean, that is CC. It's not going to be the Fable Nocturne Fiddlesticks. It's not even going to be the Middlesticks either. Tiger Cubs, they picked up their jungler here, and it's a creepy one. It pairs so well with the Leona as well.
I'm so mad that we saw this on Tiger Cubs and not on the game before. It makes me sad, but of course it is in the game, and I'm so happy, right? Seeing those core storms over the wall. And the Vladimir on the other side, so Park Esports, again, not running an ADC, saying, hey, we can get around it, which has worked. This is, in all honesty, this is an absolute wombo combo. It is the essential, the pinnacle of their composition. How is this combination going to work? Where are the champions going to go? How are we going to get to that point where they can blow opponents up?
And that's what I'm still trying to sort out here for Park Esports. I think it's going to be a Seraphine Poppy bot lane, perhaps, because your Gwen and your Vladimir are going to want solo lanes. Generally, Gwen does not do well as an AD carry or as an AP carry in the bot lane with the support. I've seen it tried with Senna, and I think Senna Gwen's probably the best pairing you get in a dual lane. But even then, Gwen isn't super happy about that. She wants the level. So I'm assuming it's going to be a Seraphine bot. And then Poppy and Sejuani either could go into the jungle, but Seraphine Sejuani doesn't feel like it brings much. So I'm assuming it is going to be that Poppy support coming through here. And Park Esports, I mean, we saw it as well yesterday with the Seraphine ADC composition. You just want a team fight. Sejuani, Vladimir, Seraphine, that's a good combo to bring together. Gwen's your late game damage. My biggest issue, though, is where's your early game? The games have largely been very fast-paced here at this event here in Kansas City, and none of those champions are great at the early game. Vladimir needs time to skill. Gwen needs time to skill. Sejuani's okay, but still needs some sort of damage. And Seraphine's not great either. You look at Tiger Cubs, they've got damage out the wazoo right away here. You've got the Draven, you've got the Irelia. Azir does a lot of poke as well. And once you hit that 6 with that Fiddlesticks, it's going to be really, really nice for them. So I'm a little bit scared for Park Esports. You're looking to try and team fight into a composition that can team fight just as well. Regardless of the matchups, you don't have a good matchup into Azir. Both Vladimir and Gwen don't have a great time of it here. Azir outranges both of you quite comfortably. Irelia does really well into the Gwen as well. Maybe not so well into the Vladimir, but you're still going to win that lane. Vladimir needs time to skill. So I think Tiger Cubs, they've got everything in the early game. It's all going to be about what they want to do in the early game. And then at 6, maybe that's when we start to see the teams duke it out a little bit more chaos in the team fights. But unless Park Esports gets a chance to skill up to maybe 30 minutes, things aren't exactly in their favor.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle, but that makes the victory all that more sweet when you sweat, toil, and struggle to make your skills shown, to show that you can play here on the big stage. I think that works wonders. And again, remember, if they lose this one, they're not down and out. This is the time to experiment. This is the time to test out, will this actually work? Will we get away with it? Because, I mean, yes, it is a mid to late game, but you get to that point, it is a terrifying moment. Just having that Hemoplague drop down, it can do a lot of work. Now, again, they do have to get to that point, so we'll have to see if it works, or if Tiger Cubs are going to go ahead and continue their streak of undefeated wins. We will go ahead, go to a very short commercial break, and be right back with the last game of the group stages between Tiger Cubs and Park Esports. And we are back, of course, going on our merry way through the geography of the rift, looking for a few more animals. Ooh, look at that sprint! Oh my gosh, it's a bird and a crow. I don't. This is horrifying. Get the squirrels back on. Get them back
Yo,
on.
it's the Fiddlesticks trailer all over again. Just when you thought it was safe, he's crawling on the ground, coming out. Park looking for the 5-man invade though, and they might be able to find possibly.
Uh-oh. Yep. They spot one. Are they gonna chance it? Nope. A little bit too far away, and unfortunately, they don't have any real way to draw the opponent back in. So they go ahead and exchange greetings once again. Tiger Cubs sitting up there at 2-0. Park Esports trying to get their first win on the board at 0-2. We'll see if they can make it work. Again, interesting choices here. Needs quite a bit of scaling, but it is going to be that uphill challenge.
Yeah, and the other thing too, I was looking at it, I was wondering where they're expecting the CC to come from, right? Like, how are they gonna lock down whoever they find there? Do you really feel comfortable and safe running into a Leona Draven Fiddle in the early game here? So I think Park actually just kind of got away with it by not losing anything.
I'm so sorry. I did not hear a word that you said, as that was by far the cutest little animation I think anyone's ever seen. That was so just peaceful and calm, completely on League of Legends like. That was great.
No, Orbital, you should know by now that anytime we see something sweet and wholesome, just give it time. It's gonna become terrifying. And we've seen Gwen's, once they skill up, once they get that sort of 2-item power spike, Ryzgo could take over a game. Speaking of which, we should talk about the lane assignments here. It is a Vlad top. It is a Draven First Blood. I am a happy man. You're looking for Warco here.
Yes, they are. One more auto attack might do it. The flash is up, and that is going to be the double kill at 2 minutes. Draven already on his way to 1 kill per minute.
Okay, this is why I was so excited when we saw Draven Leona. I am so glad that we're seeing so much Draven in this particular tournament here, and this is also why I don't like Gwen as an AD carry. We were talking about the fact that Gwen does better in the solo lanes, and then you go ahead and pair it with the Sejuani as well. It's not a ton of CC. Yes, there's slows. Yes, you have stuns, but it's kind of like Braum. It's not instantaneous, and you don't have the protection that Braum offers you when being melee as well. This is just an unplayable bot lane, and unfortunately, we're going to be able to see that Leona, that Draven continue to bully out here. A Poppy gank's probably not going to be able to change that either.
Just kind of waiting to see if anything can happen here in mid, but yeah, this is going to be a very dangerous situation. Taichi went back after he recalled and just straight up picked up a serrated Dirk, so he is very, very strong, and that's going to be the pull he uses. Fire Theft looking like he wants to go for the kill. Again, an empowered Q from Xerax is going to deny that. The heal was up. And it looks like the wave is stacking here in the bottom side. Or the side of Park Esports saying, hey, we might want to crash this wave and possibly try and deny a bit of CS from Taichi.
Moody's is in the area as well. We have to see the warding come out, or else Ryzgo and Rarko are in a bit of a dicey situation. They've actually started to roam up towards that scuttle here. No vision whatsoever, but they will be able to deny that away from Moody's.
Yep, gonna be taken away. Simply picked up. And it's a nice bit of gold coming in. So double scuttle here. Very, very nice and very quick. Moody's going to be wondering, like, what the heck's going on? But as soon as you steal a camp from a jungler, especially the enemy jungler, they target your lane afterwards. And we already see it.
Right away. I mean, and there's no wards. They didn't drop any of the wards here. Rarko has not dropped a single ward. Has 2 in inventory. Didn't ward the jungle approach, and you can see possibly in Taichi they're starting to look for a fight here. They're playing really aggressively. 1 axe is roughly going to be about 10% of either of their health here.
Zenith Blade going a little bit wide, and if that had landed, that would have been the fight breaking out in a 2v3 situation. And the sad B, he wants the Gwen wants to see us. The Gwen wants to see us. Not allowed to. That's gonna be the charge in though. Poppy making her way down, and they're gonna try and fight again. It's coming very close, and 1,000 Cuts actually picks up a kill. Trade for 1-for-1 might turn in for a 2-for-1, but the flash out from possibly makes that not happen. Yes, Draven got the kill, but the trade went to Sejuani.
we have to remember Goon was coming down as well. So despite the fact that Goon doesn't get an assist, it was still a 3v2 situation and you trade 1 for 1. It's nice for Rizgo because now the Gwen can CS a little bit, try and catch up here, but that is something that's going to be keep. What on earth just happened? We need a replay of that because a support just soloed the carry on the lane.
All right, well, there might have been a little extra help. I'm not too sure. Possibly goes ahead and gets the stun. And you see, no!
What? I think, Orbital, I might be excited about the wrong champion in this bot lane. Because as excited as I am about a Draven, Leona just soloed a Gwen. Ladies and gents, it took, what, a month for all the regions to figure out a counter to the Gwen? Tiger Cubs just found one for you. Leona, 1v1 Gwen early game. Let's go.
I remember the days of when I was learning League of Legends and I saw people for some reason run Leona top. And it's just because the amount of CC that she could output, coupled with some of the raw damage stats that she could, as long as she juggled the fight well, is ridiculous. But that's going to be a level 6 hit, and that is the tower dive. Moody's actually dies for it, so unfortunately, I think Fire Theft was trying to start things off, but small price to pay. Fire Theft is now going to get a very, very big lead in the top lane.
Look in here, there's a huge minion wave and TP being channeled. Xerax is here.
Yeah, that's going to be the push against the wall. I don't know if they can finish off, and that's still Fire Theft extremely strong. I think the entirety of Conqueror is stacked. Going to get the onto Goon, and he's just going to try and turn it around. A little bit of stab with the reduction on the damage, and Goon and Xerax lose quite a bit of utility trying to shut Fire Theft down.
They're now just hit 6. If they had Hemoplaying available, maybe they turned that, but they didn't. And Goon, unfortunately, wasting more time to top lane. Is actually still up CS on Moody's, though. So that Scuttle take, I think, really slowing down this Fiddlesticks. And we haven't seen a huge gank from Moody's yet. I'm waiting. I'm not going to count that top lane where he dived in, because honestly, I thought that was an effigy for a second, the way he just ran in there. Crowstorm, though, should be coming up soon. And I want to see the Crowstorm combo with that Leona here into this bot lane.
Oh yeah, it is. Anytime that you have the Crowstorm available, it's like a Nocturne ultimate, right? Use it off a cooldown, go with the lane that has a little bit of CC. You'll have like a 60 to 70% chance of winning if it's an even fight, right? Like that is how it appears. Moody still needs one camp, and that might be I want to say that's the Scuttle difference, solely because Rarko and Rizgo took it. It's just like, yeah, he couldn't hit level 6 yet.
Actually, yeah. And Goon is now here, is level 6, does have the Keeper's Verdict, so it's very hard to actually take a dragon away from Goon. Oh, okay, he's about to take the Blast Cone, and Moody's is kind of low here. This is not good for Tiger Cubs.
I don't think Goon actually knew that the ward went down, so they don't know that the information is there. Teleport is called. They're still going to go for the fight, and they're going to try and get the sun down.
Riverside?
No, the wall is real. They do turn one onto the Draven, but the River-sided, blindsiding the Park Esports squad. It was gorgeous, and the teleport was perfect. 3-1 to TGC.
Yeah, missing ping Macarena. Where is Macarena here? Where the TP was available for the Seraphine, but just didn't show up, and then the Azir shows up here in trouble. I do also want to point out too that Taichi could have flipped. Riverside had pushed them towards Taichi, which is where you want them if you want to guarantee the kills. But you could have saved Taichi by pushing them away, and maybe one of them gets out. So you can really see the priority of Tiger Cubs here. Draven is bait. The carry's obviously possibly on the Leona right now. He just said to do those.
Well, what if it was Taichi, like, bro, no, push him towards me. I need all the kills. Because he's trying to match Fire Theft, right? And actually stay above Fire Theft in terms of kills. Fire Theft just winning out on this top side. Both CS discrepancies and kill discrepancies has led to a ridiculous, and I repeat, a ridiculous 1900 gold lead. Fire Theft realizes Goon is there after the Crescent Guards goes down. That means can't dive under the tower.
I'm so scared for Xerax here. You got sustained, but I'm actually worried that Fire Theft dives you here. And as soon as that pool goes down, Sanguine Pool has a fairly long cooldown, 20-something seconds here. You're diveable, and the problem is if the wave stacks right, the turret won't be able to clear the wave quick enough. Here, Xerax getting stunned again. Okay, Fire Theft is backing off. You're winning with a call. Once you start actually picking up your mythics, you know, your first couple of legendaries, this top lane's going to be 9-playable. Your bot lane's already a bloodfest here. Park need to start moving Macarena to back Goon up. Macarena has probably some of the lowest kill participations in the tournament so far. And with the Seraphine, That's not really what you want to see. Wits End picked up. Okay, yep, they're definitely going to be able to dive.
Fire Theft has essentially negated 3 of the 5 members of Park Esports, right? You take a look at what they have. They have a Vladimir, which is AP, a Seraphine, which is AP, and a Gwen, which is AP. They are not going to be winning in a straight up 1v1 or 2v1, I would say, with Fire Theft at this current time. And that is one of the reasons why I will always personally hate it. This is also why I'm probably never a coach or anything of the sort. This is why I hate running any sort of double AP or more.
Well, you say it negates 3 out of 5 orbital, but realistically, you're negating 5 out of 5. All of them do magic damage. I mean, okay, Poppy gets a little physical, but if you're relying on Poppy to be your main damage threat, something's kind of gone horrifically wrong here. So, Fire Theft with that one pickup has really negated everybody, and you can't gank that lane effectively. Well, you couldn't gank it before here. Riverside looking to pick up the blue buff. You have to be careful of the red buff stealing it. Okay, we'll be able to secure it, and now with blue buff, Azir can just push 24/7. Seraphine doesn't get any prio in this lane, won't be able to move out whatsoever. Goon looking once again for Fire Theft.
Fire Theft is going to go ahead and try and see us. He's been tempting a dive the last 3 times, and I think Goon knows it. This is actually I want to say a excellent example of utilizing macro to your advantage. They know when the wave is going to push to him, so they're trying to fight it out. That's going to be Fire Theft actually getting knocked up, and that's a huge Hemoblade. Getting blow up the rest of the damage. He's going to try, but that's a channel crow sword. The turnaround. The absolute beast of a crow is going to scream his way to a kill. What in the world? A beautiful bait by Tiger Cubs nets them a kill and a Rift Herald.
Fire Theft didn't even need the Crow Storm to kill Goon, but probably would have gone down. The Crow Storm, though, I don't know if you've ever played against that. It's absolutely terrible. Bot side, oh my goodness. I feel like we keep missing this. Riverside again.
Yep, that's going to be the needlework under the tower. Riverside, he goes ahead, picks it up, takes 2 tower shots. That's payment, and then on the top side, they just dove into the tower. Moody's goes ahead, stays alive with the stopwatch that just became active about 5 seconds ago, I want to point out. And they are going to start running at TGC, showing off that they are still on top. They are extending their lead. Now, 10K or close, it's about 9.6, 9.4. Wow, too many numbers in a row. Now it's well over. Okay, thank you very much, teams, deciding to make my words true. 10K lead at 12.5 minutes.
Yeah, I think this is the fastest we've accrued a 10K lead here. I mean, Hipper's Herald just went down, really. They didn't even drop it. And they've got bot lane turret. Top lane turret is living on a hope and a prayer. It's not safe for Xerxes to farm under anymore. And I think that we figured out what happened with that first Moody's death here, Orbital. It was just limit testing. He just needed to know how long he can go before he has to press that stopwatch. And now that the stopwatch is used, we'll have to see, what Moody's opts to do, whether we're going to continue seeing tower dives. It's going to be a while before he picks up that Zonias here. And really, Moody's doesn't need to do anything when both your side lanes are already winning so hard.
Yeah, and again, the one on your screen, Macarena, we were touting so much the Seraphine, and I personally do love Seraphine. The champion has a kit that excels well in team fights. The problem is you do have to kind of sacrifice that laning no matter what, There is a way to keep opponents down in a situation by staying in the mid lane for a long period of time. Basically, you just sit there, you hard push 24/7, and you roam. But in this situation, they're going to try and go on Riverside to Encore lands, and there you go. It's one of the opening fights. Can they finish off Riverside? It is going to die, and that's going to be the Vanguard's edge miss. They will trade it back 1-for-1, but at least you pick up the kill. That we were wondering if it was going to come out. The combination works, and they pick up a much needed kill in the mid lane.
I mean, I think Riverside is one of the only people without a bounty in the game right now for Tiger Cubs. So it's a little unfortunate that they couldn't pick up much of a bounty. I do want to point out Crowstorm is still available here. So Park, this is a bit dicey for them. Here we go.
Yeah, they just go for it, and they're going to find it possibly. Turn it into the carry. A very nice little knockup. Needlework is coming out, though. But the dive is there. Taichi really wants it. He gets lifesteal, and that's going to be picked up. Rise goes ahead and snipes with the third charge of those needles. Now the chase is on, maybe a little bit further, but a dive under the tower does net TGC, I believe, 3 kills total after that extended team fight.
Yeah, I think that was a visual bug where Taichi just stood under the turret. I just can't imagine why the Draven would do that. So I think it sometimes with Keeper's Verdict there's a bug where the knockup doesn't quite show right. We are, I believe, going to get a replay of it, so we will be able to see what exactly happened. Oh, no, okay, the replays of the dragon take here. So the dragon gets taken, and then it leads into the fight right after. Riversided is, getting ganked, actually overextended, and the Emperor's Divide isn't enough. I mean, the Vladimir and everything, you can also kind of pull under the wall. Didn't have to happen. And then we get the dive coming through. Oh, it's a ways away still. But watch where Moody's is in that position. Never mind. We're back into the main.
It's okay, and I think I understand, but at the same time, there is a point where Draven, he didn't have flash, he didn't have heal at that time. I think he kind of understood that he was dead, right? There is a point where he just kind of like, is it really worth it? And it's always good to chase, but it's not. It wasn't there right then. That's going to be the Glacial Prison going out. They're going to try and charge, and this is a great combination. We were wondering how it's going to work. Taichi living for a little bit more. Rise Go takes it down. And that is another kill secured. I mean, ever so slowly, Park showing coordination here in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Park isn't going to go down without a fight. And we've said this about all the teams playing the tournaments, but Park especially, like, these guys won't FF. They just keep on fighting here, even when they're behind. And honestly, if you're behind, that's actually something you do need to do, is start to pick fights. You just need to find them in your favor. And Park has been able to do that. That combo is repeatable here. Granted, Glacial Prison's a fairly long cooldown, but you've got a lot of different CCs to be able to sort of chain that into.
All right, Noel, now we have a chance at taking a look at that death.
Okay.
You can see it here. Okay, so he dives under. You do see the push under the tower. The knockup's right there. And then you see he flashes in, and the flash follow by Goon. You realize it's just, he doesn't have anything in the tank. So I think that's what happened. He's just like, listen, I'm gassed, I'm tired, I want to go home. Tower,
Probably
take
come
me
back
away.
out.
Oh, I mean, he could have lapped out, just walk out the back end, going through the jungle. But it wasn't Keeper's Verdict. Taichi just kind of gave up on life. Okay. You know what? Hey, if you're support Draven, I understand. You don't pick Draven to be support, but when possibly has more kills, more assists, and 0 deaths, and is the main carry of your team right now, I understand where the Draven's going.
That's every Draven player. You're just like, I'm upset. I didn't get all the kills. FF. Not everyone. I digress. I'm very sorry. But those are some of my favorites in my solo queue games, and this is not one of those cases. Maybe a little bit coming out, but still nothing to scoff at. 3-4, and these guys are just going ham like that off of cooldown. Consistently, that ultimate is being used, and now we see the rest of the squad of Tiger Cubs start moving up. You can see the Draven sneaking on the mini map. Are they going to dive it? They don't really have anything to dive with. The Vanguard's Edge is alive, but no wave means someone would have to tank at least 3 to 4 hits.
Yeah, they're just waiting for the wave to come in, right? Leona is ready and available, does have the solar flare as well. And because all of Park was pulled up, Riverside gets to just free push the mid lane as well. Taichi actually went back down to help push a little bit. And then you kind of just get dragged back and forth between the map. You can see that Park's just a little bit late to the play. They end up losing mid, they end up losing top. They might now lose bot lane as well.
5 towers at 18 minutes. Tiger Cubs have pretty much said, we are not stopping at all. We will continue this pace. And once again, RMC, I don't know what RNG gods are blessing us today, but we have our second Infernal Soul game of the day. We haven't seen it taken. Mind you, we haven't seen it taken. It's come close. We had 3 dragons before. This is going to be our 3rd dragon of this game. It's crazy to see that.
They're just teasing us overall. It's not. We're not even gonna hit the soul at the rate we're going. 5 more minutes, and Baron will be up before then as well. Tiger Cubs can just push the end if they want here. That said, Park can still win a fight. They do have a lot of CC, AoE CC. We've seen it used on single targets, but we've not really seen the full combo come down. You know, Glacial Prison into Hemo Plague. You pull up with the Encore, beat drop, and Gwen just cutting everybody down in the midst of it. There is potential here. There's not a lot of tankiness coming out of the side of Tiger Cubs yet. And granted, Leona has a lot of kills. She's further hit than she usually is. But Eclipse aside, she's still not actually that tanky in terms of raw stats.
It's a little bit difficult, but you know who is a little bit more tanky? It is going to be... Unfortunately, no one. I was thinking about it.
I was
thinking about it, but like it's hard. Goon is honestly the one on your screen. The only one that really feels like a somewhat take, because even Sejuani on the bottom side is a little bit on the weaker end, right? Still though, with the Divine Sunder and just the raw stats that can be provided, I believe with the passive, right, a little extra armor, magic resist once you drop below a certain amount of health, it does become pretty good. And we do see the Anathema's chains coming out. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong, so please correct me, RMC.
I believe it's Anathema's chains, and it's on to. I unfortunately didn't quite see. On sources Rarko. Okay, and who is this that we're looking at?
We're not too sure, but it is going to be there. So, of course, yeah. So
Okay, fire theft.
yeah, it's weird, and we'll see how it works because the CC might be coming down here. Fire Theft running away a little bit. Protobelt into the fight from the Vladimir, and they're going to charge in again. 3 members are trying. The CC is used, but a beautiful W. It stuns out everything. It locks it down. There they go. They finally take him down in the back line, but now you got to chase on Riverside. It throws up the tower,
Oh, no.
plus the wall, and it is now all TGCs. As soon as that tower goes up, you do not own that space anymore. Park Esports go, come on. This was our side of the map. And yes, Aurelia passing away ever so beautifully. Still was able to walk out with a solid lead. Flash, yes, possibly picks up the impossible and is going to kill Goon with a Flash Zenith Blade. That is going to be the base stroke, and that is going to be Shelly possibly dancing at the end of the game as they're going to chase. That's going to be Vladimir having a couple question marks. The blades, the whirling blades of Tai Chi are doing so much work. A teleport straight in. One more charge might do it. Let's see if Shelly can dance. 78. Are they going to hit it? No, hit Shelly. No! Oh! That is going to be the death of Shelly, but not the death of the game. Tiger Cubs win it in 21 and a half minutes, 23-7. A solid showing to end the group stage 3-0.
I'm just disappointed here, Orbital, that Shelly got taken out. I mean, let poor Shelly dance. That's all she wants to do here. Brutal to watch. Moody's actually getting away. If you had used that auto on Moody's, you get a kill. Instead, you used it on Shelly. I'm disappointed.
All prayers up to the Riot gods of letting Shelly die. Should have added an extra 100 HP just for that. But of course, a very solid game from Tiger Cubs. And we did see some functionality out of Park Esports, which honestly is very surprising to me. I will be completely honest. The composition felt like it would have fallen a little bit flatter, but to see them still be able to pick up kills when they are behind 20 to 23 kills, being able to chase down an Aurelia of all things, chase down the I want to say the mid lane Azir, just so many champions that I usually it's just fall flat, 0, nothing else. You get crushed. In this, they're still chasing. And again, it sounds like a broken record. I'm just very happy that we see this level of aggression and this tempo still trying to be made.
Yeah, and I think Park has been struggling in their laning phase for the most part. Once they get out of laning phase, their map rotations actually aren't bad. If they weren't so far behind, maybe they can contest for some of these objectives. It's just this is kind of the biggest mismatch in terms of style, because Tiger Cubs has won every single game in the laning phase pretty much. They always get themselves a significant lead. And when Park's the one who tends to fall behind in the laning phase, that's how we hit ourselves, a 10K gold lead at 12, 13 minutes here, and then trying to come back from that. It's just absolutely brutal. So sad for Park that they will unfortunately be playing third, fourth match, but I am looking forward to that particular match as well, because I do think they will be more competitive, and I think that we'll be able to see their team fighting a little bit more. And for Tiger Cubs here, they go on. They've just been dominating lane. That should be another interesting one to watch, though. Perhaps not as bloody in terms of team fight, but the limit testing is always super fun.
Yeah, it reminds me of a TSM of old that we used to watch. Just always, they're behind at about 15 minutes and somehow make their way back into the game through crucial team fighting. So maybe that's what we're seeing here. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll have to see what happens. As again, this is going to be the end of the League of Legends for right now. The group stage is done. So we are going to hop over to Overwatch. Make sure to stay tuned to that. We will have a best of 5 coming up for you soon. So we will go ahead, go to a short break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.